It's a new show here on the Insider's Room. Tentatively be called for at least today, Selection Thursday. This is week 0. We're going to come on every week with different handicappers or whatever and give out 3 picks for the upcoming college football week. Today I have a Legion of Picks and Rossman coming on to give their 3 picks for week 0 from Saturday to next Thursday. And kind of surprising, not surprising, but a little surprising that they're all on the same game, but with different outlooks and different bets for these games. So let's get right into this. We'll start out. They both like things in the Illinois game. So Ross, we'll go with you. I see you like Illinois +7. Any thoughts on that game?
Yeah, I think this really is, in my opinion, a no-brainer. And this is one that I'm playing hard. I still believe that this line should have been somewhere more in the realm of +2.5. To get it at +7 or a +7.5, anything of that nature is going to be awesome. Brett Bielema is, he's coming back to the Big Ten. He is 11-1 in his season openers. They beat Nebraska last year pretty handily. Granted, it was a different regime, but you've got a lot of returning starters. You've got an offensive line where a lot of those guys are coming back. Continuity is going to be key there. Brandon Peters is supposed to be healthy again. I know they played like 4 different quarterbacks last year with COVID and all that stuff. But yeah, and they still managed to beat Nebraska with a shell of a team last year. So I really like +7 on this one. If not even just a straight Illinois winning, but definitely +7 is a safe bet.
All right, sounds good there. I see you like this game also. I see Legion, you bought an extra half here, +7.5, -125. What's your reasoning on this game?
Yeah, so the reason I like this game is for a lot of what Ross just said, honestly. Yeah, it is a new regime and things like that, but there's a lot of continuity on the Illinois side of the football. And now they're at home this turnaround. And I just can't trust a quarterback from Nebraska that throws just as many touchdowns as he does interceptions, right? So that's my biggest concern is for that purpose to take the +7.5. And so I bought the hook just in case, because I don't like to push. I either want money or I don't want money in my account. I don't want to just walk away, on a push situation. So that's why I ended up buying the hook. But yeah, the +7 is definitely a fine bet as well. If you definitely believe in it, and like Ross said, a little sprinkle on that money line is probably not a bad play either, because they do have the pieces to definitely get the job done. And so, and the other thing is the under is probably not a bad look either, and so that's the other reason kind of why I went with the +7s, because if I think an under situation is going to happen, then I always want to be on the plus side of points, most of the time anyways for myself is how I handicap games. So I think it's going to be low scoring, probably no more than like 45 points being scored or something. And so with that, I think, yeah, Illinois can definitely keep it within 7, and then who knows, they could maybe have a late drive to win the game. So
all right, so yeah, isn't this the same coach from Arkansas though?
Should have never left the Big Ten.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
He was phenomenal at Wisconsin, and then he had the keys, and he had anything he wanted at Wisconsin. The grass was not greener for him because he did not do well in the SEC, and he came crawling back to the Big Ten about as fast as he could.
Yeah, I guess I'm leaving this show up to you guys. I really don't have a take on this game. To be honest, though, if I was leaning a little bit, I would have taken Nebraska at 6.5 because that's out there now. This line is coming down a little bit. You can find Nebraska's at 6.5. I just think with the stuff going on now at Nebraska, and somebody inside that organization, inside that school wants Scott Frost gone. So if he's going to do anything, it'll be this year, and this would be the perfect game just to come out and stick it to somebody. But no, I agree with pretty much a lot what you guys are saying, but I don't know. I just have the Brett Bielema Arkansas taste in my mouth, and it's not a good one. So I'm glad you guys picked. I'm glad you guys picked this game, and I'm staying out this week. So,
and I think you're right. I think Scott Frost wants to come out and make a statement game. The problem is he's not good enough to do it. That's what I mean. I just don't think that they're going to make the statement. There's just too much going on with that stuff.
The team's not good enough. Because, as you're saying, Leach, I can't believe they're still going with the same quarterback, which has got to tell me something. Why haven't you got somebody better in the last 3 years?
Well, no, that's my deal, right? Is against Nebraska. If they maybe went with a different quarterback, maybe I would have maybe leaned that way more myself. The only concern I do have for Illinois is on the defensive end, right? They're going from a 4-3 defense to a 3-4. So when you make that change, there can be some disruption there. So that might open up a hole or two for Nebraska to actually get into the end zone and things like that. But honestly, I think this game's going to be pretty sloppy. It's, going to be a game of inches, probably, settled by a field goal or something, realistically, is what I really believe. So,
Legion, I mean, you were dead on with Martinez. I just looked at 32 fumbles and 20 interceptions as a junior. That is horrible.
No, it's horrible. So when you look at those stats, it's like, how can you back that guy? I can't. I won't put my money behind a guy with those stats.
No, that's
on the road especially, it's like.
And just kind of a side note, this game was supposed to be played last year, I think, in Ireland.
Huh.
And it got canceled.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, because they were talking to the coach from Illinois. They were talking to him on a local radio station in Chicago, and this game was supposed to be in Ireland. It was supposed to start that college football season last year in Ireland, and because of COVID, it didn't. So they're all happy that it gets to be the first game again this season for college football. All right, sticking in the Big Ten. You guys both have plays on the Ohio State game. Elijah, we'll start with you. I see you like the total in this one.
Yeah, I'm on the under 67, and at the time I ended up buying a half a point for that one as well, because I don't like those hooks on anything, especially on over-unders more than a spread. I just think, with the new quarterback for Ohio State, he's got to go to Minnesota and play in front of those fans, and I don't know what the capacity is going to be yet, probably 40,000 plus, I'd imagine, or hopefully so anyways. That, and then on the offensive side for Minnesota, I like the running back. The offensive line's pretty much, I think almost all the guys are back on the offensive line from last year. So I think Minnesota's definitely going to try to ground and pound, and that eats the clock away, So that's what I'm going to go with. And so I do like the under. And then, on Ohio State moving the ball with the new quarterback in there, I think he's going to, have some 3-and-outs, maybe an interception or so. He's going to look shaky. I do think Ohio State's going to win the game. But yeah, Ross will tell us more about why he, wants them on the spread. So
wait, let's go back to that. You said you got under 67.
Yep.
And what was it before?
So it was at 66.5.
Okay.
When I got it, yep.
But I thought you said you didn't like ties.
What's that? Oh, well, no, for tie. Well, see, the thing with the over-under on the point deal there, that matters, actually. Those little deals from a field goal standpoint, that matters, yeah. I don't like ties on a spread. Over-under, that's a different story. Yeah.
Okay.
I told you, Dan's gonna pick us apart tonight. We should have picked different days.
No, I'm just saying. It makes a lot of valid sense because I've lost totals by a half a point, especially when betting unders.
Absolutely.
I know I've done that. I'm just saying. You were just saying in the Illinois game, you like the win money, you don't like the push money, and that now you bought something to push. So I'm just
Well, truth be told, I'm technically on 67.5. Because when I got it, it was at 67 at my books. I bought the half a point, but everywhere now it's at 65.5. So I'm going to promote the 67 for sure.
All right. Mate, so what would it be if I didn't give you a hard time?
No, that's all right. All
right, Rossman, I see you like this game also, but if you like a side in this one.
I do. I like Ohio State minus 13.5 on this one. To Legion's point, there's a lot of new pieces to Ohio State. My biggest thing though is Ohio State has yet to prove that their new pieces aren't successful. I mean, how many years in a row have we been talking about new quarterback, new pieces, new running backs, new receivers, new defense? Somehow every year they come in and just blow everyone out of the water. So, I mean, at this point, yeah, there's a lot of new faces. I mean, the receiving core is stacked. And CJ Stroud, I mean, there's no reason to not believe that he's going to be a good quarterback. There's just no reason to believe that there's not going to be a continuation of what we had for several years now, that the reloads, they're going to take them all the way to the Big Ten champ. Granted, it is the first game, anything can happen. But with that being the first game, I think you bet on the safe bet, which is Ohio State reloads just like in Alabama, like a Clemson. They reload. And there's no doubt that Minnesota does have a good defense. They're going to get some stops. But again, in Ohio State, they always seem to have, a two-play drive that goes 80 yards and a touchdown. They're going to have some of those. I mean, they're just going to have those drives that, short plays, long yards that, Minnesota is going to probably have a few defeated looks. But I don't think – I mean, I agree with Legion. It's going to stay under because Minnesota does have enough defense to make the stops when it's necessary, but not enough to keep this from being a minimum of a 2-touchdown win for Ohio State. I'm thinking probably more in the lines of 3-touchdown win.
All right. See, my thing on this, and again, I'm just my only thoughts on this game, and again, it's not nothing. I'm just kind of leaning. I like my initial thought of this game. I like Ohio State, or not Ohio State. I like Minnesota at 14.5. That there are some 14.5s out there. I like at 14.5. I think it could be a 2-touchdown game. That's like, as Legion always says, you get that extra half there. I think that, Minnesota, unless he has been hurt recently, they got their quarterback back. They got their running back back.
Tanner Morgan, yeah. And that Ibrahim.
Right. Morgan and Ibrahim are back. They'll have some decent wide receivers. Again, I think Legion said they got a ton of guys back on defense. And if this was, say, week 5 or partway into the Big Ten season, I probably would definitely be on Ohio State. Because it's the first game and because Ohio State's starting a quarterback that hasn't played, I just think that Minnesota, and because Minnesota does have their returning guys on offense, they have a shot to keep it within 2 touchdowns. And that would be. But here's the thing, Ross. That would be the perfect thing if it ended at 2 touchdowns. You win, I win. You win and I win.
Yes.
And we're both.
But my thing is, in week 5, I don't think we have a minus 13.5. I think in week 5, Ohio State's probably 4-0, and we're looking at something like a minus 20.5. If they've shown that they have a strong offense. So I think at minus 13.5, it is that sweet spot. Because I don't disagree. If you could get Minnesota plus 14.5, that's not a bad pick either. I think 14 could be the sweet spot for this game. And like you said, both cash. So I think 14 is that could be a sweet spot for this game. I just, like I said, right. The history of Ohio State is just reloads, and I hate it as a Michigan fan. I hate it, but it's just the way they do things. They're good at reloading.
Yeah, as a Michigan football fan, you've just hated life for the last 10 years or something.
Absolutely, 100%.
We'll talk about that later. All right, so the last game we got for tonight, and you both agreed on this one. And just to put this out there, I know some shows they bring people on and they say, "Okay, you guys give me your thoughts on these 3 games," and everybody has the same 3 games that people give their thoughts on, agree, disagree, whatever. This is the Insider's Room. We don't do that. This is this. It's the pickers. It's the cappers picks. I said, you got this week's of games. Give me 3 picks, whatever games you want. And they gave me different picks, but on the same games, which is cool. And sometimes you can come on here and they might be the same 3 picks on the same games. It might be 6 totally different picks as tonight on 3 games. It could be 6 picks on 6 different games. Depends on the cappers on what they feel on that day. There's nothing run here like, oh, you have to pick from these games. Everything's wide open. These guys get to pick from whatever they want. When the season kicks off farther on, it could be 4 or 5 picks every Thursday. And we could have more cappers on here. I just want to let you guys, this is nothing that these guys agreed on these games or anything. It's just all open. You give me 3 picks each, whatever you guys want to, they can come on and fight and whatever. I mean, they could disagree on the same game and have the same, take the opposite sides. And it's all open to the cappers here. It's up to them. There's nothing contrived on this show.
Well, and the thing, we agreed on these things outside of knowing what each other's picks are.
Right,
the listeners out there, maybe that means that not that we, hopefully we know what we're talking about, but hey, if we picked these outside of knowing what the other one was talking about, these might be good games to go with.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's my point. I say, there's no
exactly.
It's you guys pick what you want, and then we'll run the show. So I just want to throw that out there, just being the first week. All right, the last game, you guys both went with the Hawaii game. So we'll start out here with Ross. You like the total in this game?
Yeah, under 68.5. Going with Legion there, making sure we don't land on the even number. Want to keep the 0.5 in there. I agree. I hate pushes too, so I'm with you there. Now for this one, for me, 68.5 that's still just a lot of points. And I'll let Legion talk a little bit more about what we kind of talked about earlier with Chip Kelly and the offense. But I do think that Hawaii's defense it's going to be good enough to make some stops and get it to a point where this isn't going to be necessarily a shootout. Hawaii's not going to win this game, but I do think that they can make some stops. They ended last year on a good note. They kept Houston to 14 points in the New Mexico Bowl. They were going to have some starters coming back, so they did enough against another team year. But I do think that they can manage to keep this one under 68.5. That's pretty high, and it is still week 0 for whatever that's worth. But that's my thoughts on this one.
All right, very good. And Legion, you're taking a stab at this game also, but you like a side in this one, so I'll let you break that one down.
Yeah, so I'm going to be on the Rainbow Warriors for the plus 18. After that line creeped up from 17 and a half, I got it at plus 18. I'm definitely excited about that number. I know it's an even number on the deal, but I'm not going to be on a push situation at a 17-point spread, right? So 18 is really hard to land on that number in a dang game. So the reason why I went with the plus 18 was I follow a lot of Chip Kelly. I'm an Oregon Ducks fan, so I've been that way since I was like 8 years old. And so I've watched a lot of his games at Oregon. And then when he went to NFL, now back at UCLA, he doesn't usually traditionally start off games good. And then the other thing is with this game, he's going to be playing LSU the next game. So I don't think they're going to open up the playbook that much. I think they're going to kind of keep it conservative. Yeah, you're going to see some hurry up offense and things like that, like he tries to do. But I believe Hawaii there has enough talent at the quarterback position and with the running back and wide receiver that they can definitely do some things on the offensive end to keep it close here. And so to Ross's point, having the under 68, if the under cashes, I'm a firm believer, and then Hawaii plus 18 should cash then as well. I'm thinking, this game's probably not going to get above 55, 58 points probably. It's going to be somewhere in that range. And so I think Hawaii, they're probably not going to win. The chance of them winning is probably 25% or something at best. But to lose by 2 touchdowns, sure, I'll take that. And UCLA will be happy. They'll think they'll be ready to play LSU. And spoiler alert, I'll be on LSU versus UCLA. So I'm just going to fade Chip Kelly most of the year. So that's my goal. So
conservative is enough to win this game, yes.
Yeah. You're just a hater because he left Oregon. I understand.
No, no. I'm actually glad he left because I got kind of tired of his offense. Every time they'd go play the SEC in a bowl game or something, and they can never do well. They just never did well. And he never change up his offense.
But isn't that most of the country?
Yeah, well, there is that. But it's just frustrating when you're trying to do a same offense and it does not work. Like, change it up a little bit.
What was the ridiculous number that they had between snaps? Like, how low of a number that was? I mean, if you're a Chip Kelly fan, you might remember. But I remember, I mean, there was anytime you'd watch an Oregon game, there'd be like a clock over.
Well, like 18 seconds or 20 seconds or something. Yeah, something ridiculous.
Yeah, they'd have a clock just for that.
Yeah.
Be like, how long is it going to be until Oregon snaps the ball? Because they snap it so quick.
No, exactly. So when you looked at the end of the game, they had like maybe 30 snaps total or something. And the other team had 60 plus. You're just like, how does – and they were winning games, right, because of the big playability and fast speed. But that's the other thing. Chip Kelly does not have the talent that he had at Oregon, at UCLA. You know, that's the biggest reason to take the under. For this game and, to take the spread that I'm on, just because I don't think, he's going to produce that much points, honestly. And like Ross said, when Hawaii did so good at stopping Houston's offense, and held them to 2 touchdowns, that says a lot, really, So if they can build upon that. The other thing is Chip Kelly on non-conference games at UCLA, I think he's like 1-5. So that is not a good record to, be on him. And taking UCLA on the spread for sure. So,
all right, yeah, man, I agree. I mean, you guys, a lot of good insights, a lot of good analysis on your picks. I've got one play, and it's just for the degenerates. I got one play just for the degenerates out there, and that's the Fresno State UConn game.
Oh,
and it is a game for the. I've given this play.
What is that at right now?
27.5.
27.
You taking Fresno State?
All right. Let me don't interrupt me. Let me finish. It is my show, and then you can just lambaste me afterwards, like I do you guys after you give your picks. So no, I said this is a game for degenerates. Right? You got 2 teams. You got 2 teams here that I'm not even sure diehard fans follow closely enough to play on this game. I really don't. I mean, it's 27.5 points. And to be honest with you, you got to ask yourself, what are we doing here to bet on this game? But here we go. This is what I look at. Fresno returns their starting quarterback, Jack Conner. Was the most productive quarterback in the Mountain West last year, 336 points a game. Fresno State was 5th in the nation in passing offense. They return all 3 wide receivers, and don't lambaste me on Twitter because I don't follow Twitter. Somebody else does it for me. But their wide receiver core is like an Alabama receiving core. Obviously, they're not as talented, but every one of those guys on that team could be the number 1 wide receiver. So you got 3 very talented wide receivers. So they're loaded there. Their running back came back. He's one of 14 guys that came back under the COVID blanket waiver. So he's back. He's tied the school record for 44 touchdowns. So obviously he's going to break that. They got 9 guys back on defense, and they were third. They were third in they're third of the nations in sacks per game last year at 4.17. They're going against a UConn team that hasn't played since 2019. They didn't play last year.
Right.
They took the whole season.
Fresh legs.
Yeah. In 2018, they had a historically bad defense. And then in 2019, they improved to just being terrible. And most of the guys off that defense have gone. So they haven't played for a year. They got to travel to the West Coast. They're playing a team that's loaded on offense and have most of the guys back on defense. I know it's a lot of points. As you're saying, you don't like. I'd bet this down to 27 or 26.5. 27. That could be this. I know it's not the key, but I just think that 27. It just could end at like 48-21 if UConn's lucky to get 21 points. I know it's a lot of points. It is week 0. I've thrown this out on another side as a video for a free play. So I'll just throw it out here. I'm going to take the points in this game. I'm not watching the game, but I'm laying the points, and I'll get up in the morning and look at ESPN and see if I won or lost.
Yeah, there you go.
I wouldn't throw a lot of money on it. I'm just saying, if I'm just going to throw out a play for week 0, and that's my play.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't mind it, honestly. At the end of the day, the only thing is, I guess, Fresno State, they're going to go against Oregon in the next game, right? So if they get out to a 4-touchdown lead, 5-touchdown lead, maybe even a 6-touchdown lead, and it's going into the third quarter, are they going to start resting anybody or anything like that? Because I don't know that coach for Fresno State, and how is he just going to just keep giving it to that team and just say, yeah, we're going to win by 60 today, boys? Or is he going to be like, yeah, I'm up 35. I can pull this guy in the fourth quarter and pull this guy. And then, you get a backdoor cover by UConn, right? I mean, that's the only thing I would worry about in a situation on this kind of game. But if Fresno State's coach, he's all about running up the scoreboard, then yeah, by all means, take the points.
But the problem is UConn's starting squad even good enough to stop Fresno State's third string? Probably not.
I bet you there's a lot of high school teams that can beat UConn's football team. Okay? Let's be honest.
And here's part of the story that I didn't even actually realize. I heard it today when people were talking about their coach, Larry Edsel. He coached, like, he had a year at UConn and did well, and he ran and took the money and went to Maryland. And then he sucked at Maryland and then turned around and begged for his job back at UConn.
Yeah.
So here you go. I don't know. My thing is, you've got a team that hasn't played in a year. Yeah, you can practice all you want.
Exactly.
But now you're actually, and you're traveling from the East Coast to the West Coast. You got to play your first game in over a year.
Yeah, and it's the longest game they travel all year, I'm pretty sure. So.
And here's my other thing, though. You're saying, that Fresno State plays Oregon next week. I mean, is Fresno State actually going to try to hide anything? I mean, or does Oregon even care? Yeah, hide whatever you want. I'm just saying.
That's true, right? But you never know. It's just the coach, right? I just don't know Fresno State's coach enough to say, yeah, this is how he usually does look-ahead spots to a better team, right? I don't follow them, so I can't really say that, but I can speculate.
I guess I just look at it this way also, Lisa. I agree with you, and I don't know either, but I guess I just look at it, it's Fresno State. Do they actually have look-ahead spots?
What?
I mean, do they say, we're playing them next week? I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, you could be right on that, right? Most of those smaller schools, they just go out and play whatever they want to every week, and it works great. They don't. Yeah, they probably don't look at a lot of movement shit anyway. So.
No, yeah, I understand what you're saying. No, but I totally understand what you're saying. It's just like, Fresno State. It's look ahead to order. Mate, you need to win this game.
Yeah.
I mean,
if you like minus 47.5, I might actually. Now I kind of like the over 62.5 too.
Yeah,
I saw that at 62.5, the over-under. If you think they're going to cover 27.5 and the third stringers are playing in the fourth, I think 62.5 is low.
No, it would be. Yeah, that would be the case, honestly. But, yeah, Rye likes Fresno State first quarter, first half spread. Chip Kelly is a bum. I agree. Earl Sports, he's on the Rainbow Warriors. I like it, Fresno's team total over. I don't know where that line's at, Earl. To be honest with you, I didn't look at that, but that's actually probably a good look at it too. I'd imagine if it's at, it's got to be 40 something, right around that. Then it'd be not 40, it'd be like 35 or 37, somewhere in that range probably. So yeah, if you think they're going to score at least 5, over 5 touchdowns, take the team total over.
And speaking of Earl Sports bets, I mean, he sent me a message earlier today. I hope to have him on, but obviously things have come up, and no problem. I'll have him on in future weeks. But he has thrown out some free picks on another site, and I'm more than happy to give him out here. He's got Hawaii plus 18, New Mexico State plus 10, and East Carolina plus 10.5. You can get all his plays and stuff on our Discord. He's got his own channel on the Insiders Room Discord. He puts up videos every day of free picks and gives out a lot of information. Good guy. I do some stuff with him on another site. Tons of information from him. So check out our Discord. If you just check it out for Earl Sports Bets, man, just check it out.
Well, one question for Earl though on that East Carolina plus 10.5. Is that a home play, or is that is that actually got a good chance of cashing here? You'd have the insight on that one. So see if he posts back here. So we'll see.
If you want. Yeah, and Earl Sports Bets, man, you can check him out as with some other guys on here in the Insiders Room. You can check him out at Picks and Parlays. He puts up his free plays there also. And if you're interested in picking his buying some of his sports picks, I think he's there. AJ, I'm from basically Western Michigan. I'm from Kalamazoo, Michigan. Rossman's the same. And now Legion, he's
I'm Oklahoma. Yep, I'm from the way of Oregon, Washington area, and then I just moved to Oklahoma about 8 months ago. So it's a place I call home now. So.
Yep, and he's got a nice place there, and I'll be seeing him because we're gonna go hit up Bedlam.
That's right. That's gonna be a hell of a game.
Yep,
that'll be a lot of fun.
And then, to be honest, man, I wanted to see this game because who knows if it's gonna happen in the future. I'm sure it will, but I'm just the fact that it's the whole thing that Oklahoma's leaving the Big 12. It is in Stillwater. We'll do a live show from like parking lot or something and I want to see if they have police escorts with that bus with the team buses coming in. I just think that place could be crazy.
Oh, it's going to be rocking. It's going to be a packed house. Plus, it's going to probably be the largest capacity crowd I'd imagine is at that game for that stadium anyway. So.
All right. So Rossman, you going to any Michigan games this year?
I'm going to try to make my way to the home opener. They're playing Western. In the past, we've had season tickets to Michigan, and then problem is I would only make it to like 2 or 3 of them. So, but no, the home opener, and then we'll just see where the season goes. More than likely, I'll get pissed off enough where I just won't go, and I'll sit on my couch and watch the games.
Yeah, I don't know. To be honest, the last college football game I attempted to go to, which was years ago, I went up to Michigan State. They were playing Northwestern for homecoming, and I was supposed to meet somebody there, and then his son wanted to go, so I lost that ticket. So I could have went and scalped them, but being a Michigan State Spartan guy that spent 4.5 years at East Lansing, I went up there Friday night, had a good time on campus or like in the East Lansing, and woke up late, found out I didn't have a ticket, decided I'd go watch the game in a bar. I think we were down 38-0 at the half or something at homecoming. So I decided it's not worth going to the game. And yeah, man, it was awesome. It's just, it's one of the best times I've had on my own in a long time. It's one of those things I can't do anymore. No, I could do it. No, here's the thing. The picks are done. There's no more picks. So if you're here for picks, they're done. No, it's just a little bit. But no, as you guys probably know, I lived in Thailand for 14 years, and it's just a whole different vibe over there. It's just a whole different thing. And when I went to state, I was in my 30s still at the time, and I'm sitting there at the bar. I don't know, a few grand going on college football games. I had a really good day on that Saturday, so I'm just having a good time back my old stomping grounds at the bars. Just like everything was good. Everybody was partying. So I'm like, buying drinks for everybody, just having a good time. And I sit back now. If I go up there now and try to do the same thing in Thailand, everything would be normal. It would be no nothing. Like to sit around in a bar with, with 20-year-old, 25-year-old women or whatever. I'm sitting in a bar now in East Lansing. I'm sitting around trying to have a good time. They'd be like, "Oh, what are you doing, Grandpa? What are you doing here? Isn't it past your bedtime, old man?" It's just.
So you're saying they're not going to welcome you with open arms?
Oh, I'm sure they will. It's just a different thing. I'm still 30. I'm still 25.
Well, listen, if you buy around for college kids, they'll all love you. It don't matter.
Yeah,
but here's the thing. I'm still 25. Yeah. I look 50, and my liver's 80. So
that's classic.
So yeah, I'd have to get up Sunday and roll out of bed Sunday and hopefully I can drive home without a blood alcohol level over the legal limit.
Yeah.
I mean that's I'm just reality. All right, guys, thanks a lot. I'm sure this kind of just went off the deep end there for a minute, but
no, that's all good. All right.
But hey, that's what you got to look. That's what you got to look forward to come Bedlam, mate. It will be Bedlam. Yeah, it will be Bedlam one way or another. But all right, so guys, thanks a lot for coming on. Thanks for your picks. Like I said, if I know Legion, I think you and I've got this set up hopefully for every Thursday, whatever. And we've got the Speaking of Sports show. Pick out a day for that coming the next. I know. You said we need a schedule change. We can't do it on Fridays. Fine. Yeah. You just pick a day. What's best for you? I'll work my schedule around it. Ross, mate, if you're free next Thursday, if you want to put out some picks, and hopefully we can get some more guys on here. And we got a lot of guys in the Discord room, and I know a lot of other people get some more guys on here with more picks, and just keep this thing going.
Yeah, I'm always up for talking football picks anytime.
All right, guys. I will call it a night, and I'll see you guys. I'll see Legion. I'll see you sometime this week. I know Ross, you do. You hop on the Speaking of Sports when you can. So yeah, that'll be open to you also, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
All right, everyone, take it easy.
Take care, everybody.
All right.